All right, very special day in the podcast history. It is the 200th episode, and for a big number, we may as well have a monster guest. We got that today. We're just going to call him Ninja. Tyler Blevins in the house. Big shout out for coming on. We just battled in poker last week. Today, we get to just kind of relax, less stress. Tyler, how are you?
Much less stress, dude. I'm doing great. What's up, brother? Thank you for having me, man. Pleasure to be the 200th guest of the show, man. Let's get it.
Hey, I was looking for a big name. We got the monster. We got it right here. And we're going to be covering a lot today. But first off, tell me, are you like becoming a semi-professional poker player? You seem really into it. Honestly, we battled last week.
Dude, I'm obviously very much into it, bro. Semi-professional, I think that's a stretch. I would like to be, I guess. I think my biggest issue is obviously just experience, right? Like I know. So like I've watched so much poker, dude. I've watched hours and hours and hours of poker. I've played a lot when I was a kid. We had my brother and I and both my brothers. We like converted our ping pong table that we had into a poker table. So I've been playing since I was like 16, on and off, obviously. But yeah, man, I think my personal experience, especially in high stakes, big money on the table, like I probably have a boatload of tells.
It's fun though, and I mean, would you stream any poker, or you're strictly?
Oh, absolutely, dude. I would totally stream poker. I mean, dude, like obviously, like I would need to find like a legitimate website to do it on. I think number one, right, like a legal website. I don't even think it is legal to play poker in the States with like, I don't know.
It's a bit complicated. Yeah, you'd have to get set up in like GG, that's who I'm with, and they have a like. You may actually be a future guest on that. We're hoping that you can do some commentary, which would be awesome. But you could get set up, but you'd have to do it out of the country and it'd be all legit. You just can't play you need like a mobile streaming setup. So we'll talk about that. But what is the percentage right now of game you play when you stream? What is your actual breakdown of what your Fortnite? Or what is your main game?
Just Fortnite, dude. Just Fortnite now, bro. I mean, I've been streaming for like 12 years. My journey was like, it was crazy. It was a wild one, man. We did like, I started with Halo 3, moved on to Halo Reach, then moved to Halo 4, then did Halo Infinite, and then there was Master Chief Collections, which was a huge flop when it started. But we played that, competed in that, streamed that, then moved to H1Z1, then Destiny, then like Destiny 2 for a little bit, then PUBG, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, and then ended up just landing on Fortnite. And
tell me, because for Twitch, for me, for poker, it was Jason Somerville. Twitch was a category. It came in like 2014, 15. I was relatively new in it, but there was some before. But tell me about your actual streaming journey. Was it Twitch right away? How old were you? How did you actually like start clicking and going live, and where were you streaming back then? Because I don't know like the OG. I really don't know the history of like the original stuff. So I'm fascinated. Tell me.
Not many do, Jeff. Not many do. Because obviously I blew up 5-6 years ago was when I like obviously went mainstream and blew up. And I've been streaming for 12 years. So it all started in my basement, dude. And not just my basement, my mom and dad's basement. I was the gamer living in their parents' basement for a year, like when I was in college. I went to community college for a little bit. So because I just was like streaming and making decent money and working part-time as well. And I was like, dude, let's just make some money.
But was it Twitch? Was it?
No, it was Justin TV, dude.
Oh, wow. So original Twitch.
People don't even know. No, almost no one. I guarantee you nowadays no one knows. So yeah, before it became Twitch TV, it was called Justin.tv, which had like this little blue monkey with a camera. And it was inspired by this guy, Justin, who like did like 24-hour IRL streams in his house. He had cameras set up all over his house, and it actually very much started as like an IRL streaming platform. A lot of people were streaming more so their lives and like things that were going on around them than they were playing video games. But eventually, very quickly, like, I don't know the timeline of this, but I do know that it happened quickly in the sense of like it's when it started to bump up the numbers, dude. The biggest streams were people starting to play video games. And a lot of people were interested. So like,
but was it a brother, a cousin? Was it a friend? Did you see it on TV? Did you follow someone? What got you to actually like go through and start that process?
I didn't even know it existed, dude. I had a Halo Reach team that I was on. And there was this guy who was, I forgot his name. It was one of those like shady, like, hey dude, I'm starting up my own website, my own streaming website. And, it's going to be huge. It's going to be massive. It's going to be, would you stream? And I was like, yeah. Like he was like the owner of our team at the time. This is before there were actual like teams, like Team Liquid, and so this is some like ancient shit. And I was like, yeah, dude, yeah, I'll do it. And he goes, okay, great. I don't have the website up yet, but I'm gonna send you a capture card and like everything that you need to start streaming, and then like when the website's ready, you can switch over. And I was like, okay, sure. So he sent me the stuff. I had to use my girlfriend's laptop at the time. So because I didn't have a laptop, I only had like a Why didn't I even use my own computer? I actually don't know, bro. I don't even think I had a main PC at this point. I wasn't
technology must have been crazy back then. I mean, it's like now it's so all the nicest stuff, the chair, the internet's everything. But back then, I mean, that's like you're talking ancient. Like that's like, bro, I can't even imagine.
Let me break it down for you, dude. I was on, so like on average now, I'm streaming minimum 8,000 bit rate, which is like 8,000 kilobytes per second.
Yeah.
Right. Or no, I'm sorry. 8,000 kilobytes per second, 8 megabytes per second. Like, you know, I need like 100 up, 100 down minimum is usually like, I have 1,000 up, 1,000 down everywhere I stream now. But like, that was like, dude, back in the day, I had like 3.5 upload to work with.
Yep.
I was streaming at like 2,500 bit rate or some shit, which is like, dude, it was terrible.
That's tough.
Terrible.
That's tough. Yeah.
So I was using a laptop with like a boatload of wires, like some crazy rig, and that's where it started. Dude.
And was it like literally no viewers? Like it was like you were in there recording essentially. 5 viewers. You had your cousins and your friend, your family was watching. Yeah. Man, when was the moment where it turned in from like, all right, this is like fun, I'm doing it, to like, okay, this is actually like you hit 100 or something? Is there something that stands out where you're like, wow, this could be big?
Yeah, so there's a couple. I think when I started breaking like triple digit viewers, like 100, 150, 200, that was when I was like, oh, okay, like we're seeing growth here, like really, really interesting growth. And then once I started to do, so it was like two things. Once I started to do 1v1s, like I would stream my 1v1s in Halo Reach. There was this website called Game Battles. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it used to be like the website that people would go to like schedule a match in a ladder. And then like, you know, someone would see it, accept it. You would have 10, 15 minutes to invite them and like play the maps that were requested.
Yep.
Right. And then you would, you know, whoever best of 3, whoever wins, you report the match. And, you know, end of the match, whatever, you keep going. And people loved it. People loved 1v1s. So I started streaming that and I started getting like 400, 500 viewers, which is obviously a boatload. And that was a shitload in my opinion.
Yeah.
Back in the time on Justin TV.
Yep.
And then I think like the big moment was when I got pinged by my buddy, Mark, and he was like, hey, dude, would you be interested in being in our partnership program? Because no one was really making money yet. At least I wasn't. And he's like, would you like to be in our partner beta? And I was like, yeah, dude, what's that? And then like, so, you know, ad revenue, you could get ad revenue and then you could get sub revenue.
Yep.
People could subscribe to your stream. And then, dude, I got my first check after like the first like month and a half.
How old were you? How old were you then?
Like 19.
But when 20. You started streaming, you were how old? 16?
I think no. I think I was like 18 or 19 when I started streaming. And then like when I got my first check, I think I was like 20. I don't even think I could drink yet. I was like 20, like turning 21 or something. Like it was definitely around it was around that time for sure.
And what's your parents? I always ask this because I do a lot of poker podcasts, but this is always and this is actually very similar. Parents with poker, probably with video games. What was their thoughts? Or you were so young at that time, it was kind of like, all right, he's playing video games, whatever. Were they supporting, not sure, whatever? Were they like, do this, don't do this?
It was never stop doing what we think is going to make you like happy and money and like a life, right? So like school and work, and as long as it doesn't interfere with those things, like they were okay with anything. So and it wasn't like that when I was younger. When I was younger, it was like they was very more strict on like how much I was allowed to play, and I had to go out of my way to do all these things to play more, like chores around the house, get good grades, prove my homework was done, all that garbage.
Yeah.
Which was obviously just them being good parents.
That's Midwest, man. That's a Midwest life really growing up. I'm with you. That's good parenting.
Hell yeah, dude. It was. They were great parents, man. I'm gonna, you know, if Jess and I start popping out little ones, I'm gonna be taking a lot of their methods. But yeah, it was the biggest thing. Dude, yeah, my dad thought, my dad thought, and my mom thought when I went to my first Halo tournament that that MLG, Major League Gaming, that it was a pedophile ring used to lure kids. To capture like kids because they're this is like it didn't even exist, like this was like the first time tournaments were really even a thing, like gaming tournaments. So in their minds they're thinking Tyler has a Halo team and is going to travel to Columbus, Ohio to win $20,000 if he can win first place. And they're like, yeah, right. So my dad came to like my first 2 events. We drove up together, and then he had to see the events for his own, like through his own 2 eyes. And then once I started making the money though, like the cash, like once the cash started coming in, the checks were clearing for like $2,000. Right?
They were cool with it. It was
my
okay.
mom was like, she's like, you start making more than, I had this deal with her. You start making more than minimum wage, like more than minimum wage, like you can stop going to school, and like do this full time. And if you ever stop making more than that, like then I want you to go back to school. And I was like, deal.
That seems legit. And so you were there from the beginning on your own. Well, how is it? It's changed so much with esports teams. I want to talk about with GameSquare. We're going to talk about that. Nutcase being on the business side. How you've sort of been from the start to now on the flipping to the other side. What has been the most enjoyable part? Are you enjoying the business, or do you just love streaming so much, or how do you kind of balance that you to do both?
So like I think being creative and like is something that I just love to do, right? So like coming up with things and like creating ideas with like people and good people, right? I like being in those types of environments. So like on that side of that side of the business side of things, like I enjoy. But dude, I always and forever will be like a gamer, man. Like I still hands down the thing I look forward to more than anything, besides poker. Now right now, I'm not joking. Like I love poker events; they're so much fun.
We can run it back, right?
Dude,
it's right
I'm
there,
ready,
man.
Bro. I'm ready.
We're ready.
Besides that, the thing I'm most excited about every single day is always playing video games and streaming. Like it's like my bread and butter, bro. Don't stray away from what made you too far, right? And is something that I think it's like words to live by. Yep. So it's my go-to, dude. I love it.
I love it, and I got to meet Jessica. She's awesome. So you can just tell she's a ton of energy, and I know she helps and sort of is inside your world of managing and dealing with stuff. First, tell me where did you guys meet? I kind of know the story, but I want to hear a little more because it was at a live event, which nowadays a lot of online dating and these type of things. So the fact that you actually met her, give me the story. When was it? What year? Give me the abbreviated, like how did it all go down?
I don't know. I mean, I'll abbreviate it since you asked. In a nutshell, it was a tournament in Wisconsin. It's known as a local tournament instead of like a major tournament, right? A local is known as like much smaller prize pool. Okay. Usually, the only people that show up are locals. Right? People normally, because it doesn't make any sense because the revenue's not
very
there.
similar to poker too. There's the big events all over, and then there's some like local casinos. I get it. Makes sense.
Absolutely, yeah. So it was a local tournament in La Crosse, Wisconsin. She lived in Wisconsin. I was right by the border in Illinois. I lived in Grays Lake, and my buddy Aaron was like, "Tyler, let's do this." And I was like, "No." And then he showed up at my house, and he's like, with our teammates, and they weren't even our teammates. They were like his local friends. And I was like, "All right, dude." I hopped in. We drove up, stayed the night in the hotel, and then first, I saw her first thing. And dude, I mean, she was, because I was a kid, dude. I was 18. I was scoping out the chicks, the gaming chicks, which were few and far between.
Yeah, fun. It's a fun time, man. If you're gonna lock it down or go get serious, you got to be pretty sure. Dude, so you were sure.
Dude, she was stunning, bro. She was like, I mean, she's hands down the hottest girl in the entire, and like it was like. There was, we're a 10 surrounded by like 3s, dude. And
she's a genius, by the way. What a play by her. I mean, if you're a chick, same in poker, there's all guys, if you want to really go and kind of have your bachelorette moment, you just kind of go in there and that's smart by her. She's definitely sharp.
She's the queen, dude. And I love at first sight, call it what you want. I was like, dude, this girl is the hottest girl I've ever seen. And she ended up coming up to Aaron, and to introduce herself to me because she knew Aaron beforehand too, my buddy. And then we ended up and then that's the rest is history after that. Like we stayed connected on Facebook because she was kind of dating someone at the time, and and we basically played tag for You
were saying the poke that was back in the poke days of Facebook. You were keeping an eye.
Oh, absolutely, dude. We would DM each other like every 6 months. Like, hey, how are you? What's up? What are you up to?
Yep.
And then what's your situation? I'm taking. Oh shit. Moving on, fast forward 6 months. Hey, what's up? How are you? I'm taking. Shit.
Yep.
Okay. And then finally, yeah, finally we were both single, and she hit me up after a tournament that I won with my buddies, and it was like a major tournament, and she was like, "Oh my god, congratulations!" And I was just like, "Yeah, congratulations."
Yeah.
You up? Like, what you up to? I was in Texas, so I obviously couldn't see her right away, but
That's all. So you guys get together, and now you've been married, and what is she? She's your manager. What does she specifically do within your?
Yeah, no, dude, she helped build the Team Ninja brand, like, and team, like, brick by brick. Like, she was there from the beginning. Like, dude, I was like, this is the same. This is like goes for a lot of streamers, bro. Is like, dude, I was streaming in front of like thousands of people, like, you know, like responding to my own sponsorship emails. Like, I was like reaching out to like sponsors like midstream, and like just walked in one day and was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm sending an email to G Fuel at the time," and I was like, "Sponsor me," and she like looked it over and was like, "Tyler, there's like 20 misspellings in here. Like,
Yeah,
this is written horribly."
Well, forget about that. Even just the time, right? To like, you want to be streaming, doing what you love. Like that type of stuff is you shouldn't be doing. And that's, I think that's one of the hardest things in streaming too. Cause you know, when you're in it and you're just doing it, it's hard to stop or even find someone that can sort of broker it or know you or knows what your best interest, or you're not getting taken advantage of by someone that's trying to do that. So that is definitely not easy to like kind of like grow into it and then learn. I think that's really hard.
The balance too, for me, like as a kid, because like I was a kid. I mean, you know, I didn't think I was at the time, but I was a kid. I had no idea what the word balance meant, right? So all I knew was like gas, bro, like straight gas. I would stream 16 hours a day from the moment I woke up. Wouldn't care about my health. Wouldn't care about anything. Not that I had problems with my health, but like, you know, I wasn't working out, right? I wasn't home cooking meals. It was straight like pizza rolls and fast food.
What type of stream hours were you putting in? Like, are we talking like, give me your longest ever stream? What per week? Throw me some stats.
Hell yeah, bro. All right. Longest ever stream. I broke the record for a week. It was with me and a bunch of buddies, and this was a partnership with Nos back in the day. It was, we broke the world record for longest stream ever. It was 60 hours. The previous record was like 52. So we beat it by 8. And then some Australian psychopath played COD and beat it and did like 128 like a week later.
Wait, you're saying an individual stayed awake in stream for 128 hours?
Yes. Yeah,
so
you should have seen like there's like the final moments of him like doing it, bro. They're literally just pouring water on him, bro. He's like leaning forward. They're just like pouring water on him as he's like, it was crazy.
You know, there's a poker world record that was pretty famous from a well-known player. It's a good buddy of mine. Do you know the hour? Have you ever heard this by any chance? The record of hours played live poker. It was like about that. I think it was 118 or 112. Phil Locke, who's a legend. You've probably seen him before. Jennifer Tilly, Phil, like legend of legends. He's a very good friend of mine, and he did that. And then someone actually broke it. And I think they changed the Guinness World Record to stop doing those because it gets dangerous. I mean, at that type of time, that can't be good for you, right? Like 60 hours is insane.
So dude. So we were like to put it in perspective, bro. Like for anyone that's ever stayed up this late before, like you're thinking, oh, energy, right? You're thinking energy, chug energy drinks, you know, blah, 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 blah. Bro. My body was like. We were 50 hours. I remember I was like 48, 50 hours in, bro. And I like sipped a NOS, like, and I almost threw up.
Yeah.
Like, my body was like, bro, if it ain't water, it's coming up.
Well, so part of that Guinness record for the live poker was no caffeine, no drugs, no anything. I think you could take like a break for a little. But actually he had to like force himself to sleep because he could have kept going, and that's like where it starts getting scary when you get in that type of. So okay,
I mean, I want to know, was he up? Like how much?
That was part of the Guinness World Record. You had to be winning in the game too. Like so, you had to actually win money in the game and have the record and whatever. I don't know anyone who's tried in a long time, but I don't even know how many days that is. What is that? 4? Nuts. It's like 5 days almost.
Yeah, that's 5 days, dude. 48, 96, 120,
yeah, almost
5
days. 120s at 5. So that's crazy. And what about like average stream? Like when you're like cooking, when you're in there and you're what's your like your overall stream day look like?
So now it's different, bro. Now it's married life, balance, like finding time to work out. I usually have calls and I record my own podcast like twice a week. And so it's like 4 hours. I do if I'm feeling myself, I push 6, and a nice stream is like 5 hours. But normally my streams about 4 hours a day. They were when we were big boy grinding for the first like 10 years. No exaggeration. I was pulling minimum 12-hour streams.
Yeah,
like minimum.
That's a lot.
Yeah, dude, it would
And
be.
it's fun though, right? It almost you have to
Hell
tell
yeah.
yourself to stop because you're like, I can keep
Dude,
going.
hell
Yeah.
yeah, bro. It
And
was
then, and
like
then the stream builds and like the subs that don't. It's honestly, it's like what's
it
the
was
word?
crazy.
It's like an overload of like just stimulus
It
stuff, right? You're
is.
just
It
feeling. I
is.
forget dopamine. You're just getting like
Dopamine.
dopamine hits the entire time. And what was
Yeah.
the biggest donation you've ever got on stream?
Bro, I think I had like I had like a $20,000 dono. I
That's
don't
a
know if I
big
want to like
dono.
I don't know if I want to like go into it, but like most of the time, I will say this, it ended up being like fraudulent. I will say that.
Okay.
And like most big ones like that are, bro. Nobody has Arabian princes that are because that's that dude. Because who throws money around like that? Like I don't know.
I just went to Dubai for the first time. Shout out to the sponsor, Karate Combat. I'm telling you, there is stuff like that exists, but
for sure.
That's
they
the
have so much money.
but
Dude, we just got to get them into Fortnite. Be like, yo, man, watch Ninja, dude. Like,
listen, they're putting money in everything. If they get
Exactly.
into esports and games, that's where you'd want to be for sure. But yeah, so you've got some big donations, and I mean, you've had this like it's just crazy. It is such a crazy world, and I haven't streamed in like 2 years, probably at all. So I'm like kind of out. I know like the laws changed on some gaming with Twitch. I know that now there's Kick, there's like YouTube gaming. Are you strictly? I mean, obviously Mixer. You went there, you got a huge deal, and
bro.
Microsoft did that, and then they. So like I have no
went
clue.
Under. Let's go.
Yeah, but I mean, look, they pay. You got the deal of all time. You got. They came to you. They brought you over. But I don't know the landscape today. What is actually like?
Yeah, bro,
are you on multiple at once? Are you only Twitch?
Yeah, great question, bro. No, we're everywhere, dude. So we're everywhere now. I sometimes I'll share my Kick. I haven't streamed out there in months, but like I'll dabble every once in a while. But mainly on YouTube, mainly on Twitch, and then TikTok. So those are my bangers. And I'll go live there at all three of those places at the same time.
And tell me about the merch, man, because I got to say this table was crazy. I played a lot of poker. There it is. Like this is a beautiful color. You actually have a Ninja trademarked color. Is that a hue of turquoise? What's going on here with this?
Yeah. So we own that color. It's ours. It's sick. We worked really closely with dude, what was the company? I'm drawing a massive blank. But they were Salt. I think it was Salt. No. I don't know who we worked with because I think Salt is our podcast team, but we worked really closely with the company, so close that I forgot what it was. And they just did a great job, bro. Like it's clean as hell, man.
I honestly love the logo. I love the color. It is cool, man. I gotta give like the hat. This is cool
bro.
Stuff, man.
Dope as hell, dude. Like
it's really cool.
You look adorable as hell in that little beanie right there in the snow.
It's nice. It's nice. It's real nice.
Thank you. No, I'm really proud of it, man. I love it. I mean, like I think it pops. It looks clean, and dude, like I'm not gonna lie. That felt on like the poker table. It looks sharp.
Yeah, it did. It looked great on camera too. I was impressed. I've never seen the LED on the outside either. They had a too many Moscow mules. I need a drink count. I was trying to I haven't watched back the whole stream, but we fired in some orders. It was a lot,
dude. It's so funny you mentioned that. I just got off the phone with Joelle from Nutcase, and she's literally like, guys, next time we do a poker Nutcase poker tournament, more Nutcase, less. She literally goes less Moscow mules, and I was like, that's fair.
It was a lot. The tequila Nutcase was good too. I think we had a few of those. That was nice. It was
the espresso martinis or whatever.
Yes,
with the Nutcase. No, that was delicious.
And I got to ask you about. You mentioned Wisconsin, Phil Hellmuth. Got to give him a shout out here. There's the big fellow there. He's sitting next to him. You play with him in a private Hustler Live, was that the first time you guys met?
That was the first time I've ever played at a live poker tournament before. Number one, and first time I ever met Phil.
And he's Wisconsin. You got that root. I mean, obviously Midwest. You said you were in Illinois, even though you were born in Michigan, moved to Illinois. And tell me about your poker, sort of who you enjoy watching, and obviously you hit off with Phil. Is there any other players that you really like? You're like, wow, I've watched so much of them, and I feel like you know them.
Dude, no. David Ingranu. I see him everywhere.
Daniel,
David. Thank you. Sorry. I love joking names like that.
No. He was supposed to play in the game actually because he was going to come by. Excited. He's an amazing guy. He's the face of GG. That's the company I'm with as well. He's in Vegas, so I'm sure they'll meet. He's a talkative guy too. He would have been a nice addition as well. I mean, there's so many interesting people, but so Negreanu,
Jason Kuhn as well as somebody who's reached out and like offered me a lot of advice in the poker side of things, which is really cool and really nice of him. And then like the people I grew up watching when I was watching poker, like when I was a kid, was Jalen Brunson. Was Jalen Brunson? No, it's Jalen Brunson. Doyle Brunson. Jalen Brunson. Rest in peace, Doyle.
Dalen, great basketball player. He's on fire right now.
Didn't get 40 points in a row. But he, still they clutched up. Anyways, yeah, Doyle Brunson, dude, 10 deuce, Phil Ivey. Like those are the people I grew up watching. And like when like they stopped playing was kind of like when I just do. That was also when they like it wasn't the reason I stopped watching, but like again, I like when I met Phil, that was the first time I didn't even know he was a professional poker player. And that was because like that was the gap of my knowledge of poker, of like live poker like players, like actual professionals. And then after that, I started like diving right back into it. So
did you ever consider streaming poker, or was that a consideration because you could win money gaming, or were you just so far into the games you were playing at that time? Did you ever think about that at all, or no?
Nah, man. I never thought about it. I never, like, it's also one of those things where you kind of have to have money to make money. To make like real money.
Yeah.
You got to be getting in those big games, and if you're not good, like you're just gonna be the fish at the table getting rocked. So yeah, it was one of those things where I never pursued it. But now, dude, like again, and even I wanted to do this even since doing that Hustler Casino tournament, right, with Phil and Mr. Beast and all those guys and Jimmy. It was a lot. It was a blast. Like I've been wanting to do more. It's just one of those things that nothing goes on here in Florida, and I'm not trying to fly out every week.
Yeah, it disrupts the schedule. Did you like that game more where it's like wildly larger, or like Alan Keating and blasting every hand? You're like, I could lose 50, 100 grand, or do you like more where you get to see flops and kind of chill?
I like to play, bro. I like to, in a perfect world, I like to play. I like to read people, like chat, have a good conversation, and hopefully not lose, right?
Yeah, and you make some decisions, right? Because when it's all in and it's like, so people are putting in major bluffs pre-flop and stuff, it starts getting a little stressful for anyone.
Stressful. It's not poker. Like that's not poker, right? Like poker is like reading someone's hand. Like when you read Phil's hand, that was sick.
It was fun, man. I played a lot with Phil. It really is, and it's funny to see Nate how into it he is. He committed. He's coming on in the 21st. He's going to do the GG Million commentary. So I know I threw that out to you. I don't want to put you on the spot, but in the future, if you you knew some terms, man. You knew some terms. You're talking small blind and saying stuff. You're saying things like your position. I was like, okay, he's done a little bit of work. It's a little, it's out there, but you're talking like what you're talking. If someone had not played poker and you're talking, they'd be like, yeah, this guy's an expert. Like you were dropping a lot of terminology.
I appreciate it, man. My brother-in-law is also really big into poker too. And
was it John?
No. It was John. That's my brother. He's into poker. He loves poker. He thought he would. He was saying he would have won at that table, and he's just. Dude,
Bearded Blevins too.
Yeah, Bearded Blevins. That's him. That's
okay.
Listen, listen. I might just have to pay for his buy-in and bring him to a tournament one time, just to like watch him lose, right? Just to like prove, because like I always, John was like the chaser. He's a chaser. He's a chaser, man, and
he likes the draw. Yeah, for sure. Well, poker's funny because when you see the whole cards, everyone's the best, right? It's like that the Dutch Boyd sets like sex and poker. It's like everyone just thinks, they know what they're doing. When you're in the moment and you can't see everyone else's cards, it is different.
Totally different. It's like, what are you doing, man? If I had 7-7 flop trips, I'd be exactly. Like, how do you not know he's going for a flush draw? It's like, okay, dude.
I will say, as do a lot of commentary, the commentary bias is hard because when you actually are not seeing the cards, it's just completely different, of course. But
absolutely.
Even when you're commentating, it's easy to sound kind of like you know what you're doing because like you see the other person, you can kind of curtail what you think you should do. But yeah, for sure, it's a lot of fun. WSOP, is it possible? Any events? Will you come? Will you play some tournaments, or does the schedule hard in the summer?
Honestly, I think I just need to get invited. I think I just need to pull the trigger, right? Like get invited or. Do an event and just.
But if the right situation, World Series of Poker is like, hey, come out there, main event, this, that, or the other, like you'd be open to go out for a week or so into Vegas and.
Absolutely. Like I truly love poker so much. It's such a natural like experience for me, and I also just love Vegas. So.
It's not a hard sell, but you're right.
It's not.
We'll make it like it is. We'll talk and get in the right conversations, and I'm sure we'll be seeing more poker from you. What is it that you're most excited about right now? Out of investments, streaming, is there a big tournament coming up for Fortnite? Like, what is it that's on your horizon next month or two that you're just like pumped about?
Thank you for asking, dude. I would say the thing that's like kind of like. Getting the juices going is the Nutcase launch. Just trying to get it out to as many people as possible and just kill it, like knock it out of the park. There it is, dude. Back in stock, dude. We sold out our first like quick little drop. It was great. We brought some back, of course. Better for you, better tasting. Chocolate milk, dude. Dairy free, gluten free. I mean, it's limited ingredients. It's got like 5 or 6
not far.
ingredients.
I always got one nearby.
Come on,
I got
bro.
one right here.
Literally I just chugged one before this.
It's never far. It is pretty amazing, the story. Joelle was saying on stream a bit about it, and I knew I'd spoken to her before, just like how it came about during COVID and sort of the chocolate milk Nestle kind of thing. And it is cool too, because there's all these energy drinks you see in streaming in particular are pushed. So to have a product that is, tastes good, that's also not like one of these, crazy calorie and like going to keep you up wired at night, and you can push.
Caffeine. Yeah, man. For me, it's the coloring, bro. Like, I think the thing that's going to sell it the most, it's one of those things like, it just tastes so good, dude. You just gotta try it. And you try it once and you'll realize like, oh my God, this is phenomenal. So it's not a hard sell. It's really just about getting it in front of people.
And how, but like when, in terms of the process, do you enjoy like what say Nutcase? Okay, you get, it gets brought to your attention, tastes good, you like it, all ticks all the boxes. Like, what is the process of that you enjoy the most? Like, what is the most fun about a new product that you actually want to like get out there?
That's a great question, brother. That's a great question and really well worded, dude. I love that question. As a content creator, that question is such a good question. Okay, dude. what gets me going, dude, is just like anything like really really authentic, dude. Like I get really excited and really passionate about like authenticity in the space. It's in my opinion, it is and there's nothing wrong with selling out to an extent, right? Like doing work with a product that you don't even use or drink for like a very large bag, right? Like I don't judge, streamers if they do a one-off every once in a while. I pride myself in like I do like to really only work with companies and things that I'm like passionate about and that I enjoy, or that are like good for you. I'm trying to get definitely a little bit more away from naughty things for your body. So yeah, when Joelle came to me with this, it was I have a huge sweet tooth. So like for me, like there are like, like little triggers in my head where that get me excited about something. So when I found out that it was something sweet, I was like, sweet, let's go. I love sweet. Chocolate milk, even better. Love chocolate milk.
Yeah.
Gluten-free, great. I have a gluten allergy, right? Like, it just kept checking boxes, dude. And then when I tried it, I loved it. And then also like knowing that it came from Phil as well. Like Phil was the person who facilitated the deal, or just by like introducing me to Joelle.
Yeah.
Like, it was perfect, bro. Like the whole, you know what I mean? Like the perfect storm. And
right.
At that point, it was just simple, right? It was just figuring out what the deal was and what we were going to do.
That's awesome. And do you, in terms of with design for your own brand, for your logos or for feedback on stuff, how engaged, how big in the process are you with stuff you do? Like, do you tell companies, this is how I want how this is done, or do you kind of let them sort of do it and then you say, yeah, this is good?
That's a great question again, man. With the logo, obviously that process was probably the longest one because this company was, they're the professionals, right? So we told them what the brand stood for. It's definitely the hair, like the style, how I style it, the color, all those things. So then they came back with that, and that was like, we were able to just be like, this is perfect. Let's, perfect it from here. But for other stuff, it's usually like, unless I'm super passionate about it and I want to go out of my way to work with the company, it's usually like they come up with the pitch me, and like I, hope I like it, essentially.
Very cool. And
yeah,
I a bit of a pivot, but I know it's a stream you raised over 100,000 for with mental health. You've talked about it as well. The suicide prevention, I think it was the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention.
Hell yeah, bro.
And just within this space, and this is becoming more prevalent, of course, in the world, and we see a lot of this. But within gaming, I do feel it is a bit of a lonely kind of a lot of highs, like where you hit these numbers, or it can change, and it just seems like it's very much a part of that. How do you, I guess, what's your message in this? Because it is, I mean, you said it's a lot, right? To stream on your own, the process, it can be kind of lonely too, to talk to a camera, although you're seeing people that are like typing you and stuff. It's a bit of a wild deal, and can definitely get in a vortex, I think, like where you get kind of caught and not being able to stop too, right? Where where you feel like if you stop, you're going to lose your stuff. Cause I remember streaming poker. I kind of felt like that too. It's just like, you feel almost a little bit trapped where if you like don't stream and do consistency, you're not going to have the results you want. And then it's just kind of like a double-edged sword.
No, man, it is. I still to this day, like I personally think I have it down because like it works for me. So like I have it down, but like it's completely different for every other streamer, for every other person, for their mindset, and it's totally different. And you're absolutely right. Like streaming it's almost like a trap. In so many different ways, you are alone, right? At the end of the day, you turn that stream off, and like, dude, unless you have a significant other already, or like friends that are like living with you or around you. Like, yeah, dude, it can be like extremely lonely. And yeah, you do kind of spiral, or you get into this like mode where you're only streaming, right? You're streaming 16 hours, 17 hours, you end your stream, eat dinner, go to sleep, do it, and like rinse and repeat.
It's also different because if you're friends, you have a peer group or friends that are not doing that. And first of all, how many are going to live next to you or near you that you can go and see? So like if it's like limited. It's hard for people to relate. And then as you were saying, when you stream, it's like it's not just streaming, because then it's like, what about your emails? You got Discord messages, MyGram, YourGram, Telegram, Instagram, all this shit to look at. People are hitting you on 20 different ways. You're getting, it's like a lot, right? So it's kind of hard to disconnect,
bro. If you're doing it high, if you're doing it at a really, really, really high level, man, right? Like there's levels to this. They say that, in a lot of things, there's levels to this shit, and there really is. And when you really start to blow up and get big, like it becomes incredibly overwhelming unless you have people there with you to like as Samwise Gamgee said, share the load.
Yeah. And also the access, right? As you get more notable, and then in the space, now you have like, it's like, okay, you're a fan of this, or you want to go to the Lions game, you're like, everything's VIP, and you have so many opportunities and things and cool stuff. It's great, but it's like kind of hard to, to just sort of leave. Take it, and then you still got to stream and do all those things. But yeah, no, look, the mental health. I lived with Michael Phelps for 8 years. We were roommates, and he's also Michigan ties, and we lived in Baltimore. But that like Olympic sports in particular, and similar to game, it's like the highs. You hit that stream, you got 600, 700,000 watching you on there, and then the next day you got it just like you hit these like things and these marks, and it's kind of hard to like. And then you start to get a little bit like, again, the dopamine.
The whole dude, streaming itself is a massive dopamine hit, right? Like you're online. It's like it is. It can be really draining, and you have to be really careful. It's why like I don't know if people have looked up grounding, but like, getting sunlight, grounding yourself, like going outside, getting walking your dog, getting there with nature, like coming down, like it really is. It is kind of like a high in a way. Right, you're getting money, right? You're getting subs. You're making ad revenue, right, off of like ads, and you're playing that. And then like when you're scrolling Twitter, you're scrolling TikTok, right? It's what's that next thing? It's like that's what chat is, right? Chat is like when they're typing, you're like waiting for that next thing, waiting for that. It can be a huge spiral. So like, as somebody who's been doing this for 12, 13 years, it may seem like. It may seem like if you don't stream for a day or two, like you're gonna stream the next day and there's gonna be no viewers there, but that's just not the case.
Right.
Especially if you're communicating with your audience via your social media channels, like what you're doing. Hey guys, I'm taking a day off, 2 days off, whatever. I'll see you guys. See you guys here. This stream is gonna be even more lit on Wednesday. We're gonna go crazy.
Well, you're also fortunate in the sense that your significant other, your wife, and you met before you kind of been streaming, because you said it's hard if you're streaming to meet, and then if you like don't have that build up with them, with your significant other, if you meet, let's say you met last year, 2 years ago, also it changes then what your schedule is, and now you're like kind of discovering each other, so you just want to be with them, right? Not want to like be streaming. So if you kind of do it organically and like from the beginning, it's cool like that, but that's not the case for everyone, right? That people are streaming and it's not easy. So that's fortunate.
Dude, streaming truly, it is. First off, I'm blessed as hell to have my beautiful wife as my partner. Jessica's the most amazing person in the world. I wouldn't want to share this journey with anyone else. I don't think anyone else would understand it and have helped me out the way that she has throughout this entire process. But like, dude, streaming, dude, it's so different. It's so different for every single person. Because every single different stream is different, bro. Like some streams require more hours if you really want to build like, a certain type of audience. Some require less. Some require excruciating hours. Some require like, you're playing different games. Some require traveling, right? If you're an IRL streamer, there are people that are doing IRL streaming. I couldn't even fathom being an IRL streamer and being in a relationship, right? Unless like they become the stream, right? Unless like you like that, it really.
And that's
is
got
different.
Its own web.
Can of
That's the
worms,
guy's
right?
own web of
it's
results.
Like, hey, honey, I'm gonna go to Italy and do my tour for Italy for a month. You down to come? Are you not gonna come? If you come, you're gonna be in the video.
Right? Do you have work? Can you even come? Are you able to do that?
And they might not even want to be on camera. And that, dude, and that's one example of how like being an IRL streamer or being a certain type of streamer completely changes, what your life looks like. So it really is a play by ear, which is stressful, by the way.
Yeah. Big time. And speaking of business, before we go into another tangent, is GameSquare. I got to ask, because I'm involved with this a bit, and I want to understand. We were trying the title. What is your actual title at GameSquare? Because this is one I don't normally hear, but it's pretty cool.
Bro. Chief Innovation Officer, dude. Innovation, bro.
CIO.
CIO, dude. Just taking so we're probably gonna do another meeting this year. I think we do it at the beginning, or like the midway through the year. We did it in 2023. It was at the beginning of the year, right after we signed, and we sat down for like 6 hours at a table, and we just talked about like, what are we doing, right? What are we doing? What does it look like? Who do we want to work with? What type of events do we want to run? And that's, and we just, I don't want to get into too much because we have a lot of stuff that's in the works, but yeah, it was just, shooting the shit and being creative, man. And like giving them like a streamer / gamers, like, experienced streamers, gamers opinion on things.
And what's your overall view? Because the poker world, it goes through these waves. There's been, the Black Friday happened where the U.S. basically took down all U.S. sites and said it's not regulated here. And now there's some state by state, and it goes through these peaks and valleys. Where would you say the gaming esports is at the moment? Because you've seen some of these valuations come way down. Obviously, the economy, the world, all kinds of stuff's happening everywhere. But where is gaming today versus, are you bullish, bearish? Give me sort of the overview of how the history of gaming's gone.
I mean, obviously the bubble's popping a lot with esports, and people are trying to there's been massive let goes. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Adjustments.
Adjustments and layoffs in a lot of these esports companies, because they're like, dude, we have to become profitable, right? Like at the end of the day, great. Like if we aren't making the revenue from streaming and winning these games, right? Like where are we gonna make it? We got to cut it somewhere. So. Dude, to monetize. So GameSquare itself isn't like, GameSquare doesn't sponsor people, right? GameSquare is like, it's a company. It does so much more. And where it thrives, and Justin, who's the CEO, the absolute monster and legend who behind it all.
Yep.
Where he thrives, his favorite thing to say is like, we're a conglomerate of like a one-stop shop. Right, where it really.
That's him. I thought he popped in. That was pretty good.
In real quick. Thank you, Justin, for that.
You gave Daniel an Italian accent on his German a little, but your accents are pretty good. That's good.
Appreciate it, dude.
Yeah.
And one thing that GameSquare does better than every other company in the industry is like, it is a one-stop shop, and that's what makes it. That's where they're going to be cutting costs. That's where they're going to be making their revenue. They have everything in house, and that the ability to not reach out and hire other vendors at at a higher cost is what's going to give. It's what gives us the edge. So
that's awesome. And but that is enjoyable for you. Like you actually, you are liking the business to be like more involved and sort of learn this side of the business. You're enjoying that.
When they reach out to me and they ask me those types of things, my opinions on stuff, like it's nice. It's a change of pace, right? It's complete change of pace of what my normal day-to-day is. Like a lot of my day-to-day is, it's gaming. What am I going to do next? What am I going to do tomorrow? Post on TikTok, comment on comments on other people's like posts as well, to just kind of, cross promote and do things like that. And it's much smaller than when I freaking get a business call and it's like, hey, we have to, build up some ideas for this. And it's like, it's just a nice change of pace. And I do enjoy it. I don't see myself doing it full time though. Again, you talked about it earlier in the podcast. Again, like my bread and butter, whenever I want to feel safe and I want to feel like, I have a grasp on what's going on around me, is like, I always come back to streaming.
And I got to ask you about Family Feud. My dad actually, this is a question from him. I guess he loves the show. He wanted to know, how was that? Like, how did you guys do? And what was that experience?
We killed it, dude. So we were the second family ever And I was the second person ever to be on the original Family Feud and then to be on Celebrity Family Feud. I believe there was don't quote me exactly, but I think it was a professional baseball player. I don't know his name, but I think there was a professional baseball player that went on regular Family Feud, made it to the MLB, and then was able to like come on and bring his family to Celebrity Family Feud. So we were the second family to ever do that. And dude, it all started. I was dating Jess. I was visiting her up in Whitewater, Wisconsin, where she went to college, and we were just chilling on the couch, eating some dinner, and we're watching Family Feud. And dude, this family was just killing. They were just butchering. You know, it's like they're just getting all the questions wrong, like not even the right ballpark. And I'm sitting here like, I look at Jess, I'm like, God, my family would kill this. And she's like, you should sign up or something. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, let's send a group text to my brothers and then Jody, because Chris wasn't married at the time, and obviously Jess wasn't family, so she couldn't be in there. So we're trying to figure out who the heck our fifth was going to be. And I just gauged interest. I was like, guys, we would kill this. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And everyone jokingly was like, hell yeah, sure. Let's plan a date. And then John, my brother John, worked with a ministry, and he had access to like their little studio where they filmed videos and stuff for the church. And I was like, dude, let's just, we set a date. We went there. We pre-recorded a video of us playing online Family Feud, right? And we like joked around on the intercom, and we like introduced ourselves. It was hilarious.
That's awesome.
Yeah, dude, and they loved it. And and another fun fact, it was the first ever online submission that they flew out a family to like make it to the next trials.
Oh, it was instant. You guys like submitted and you were in the show.
Dude, within like a couple months, they were like,
wow.
They were like,
That's
come
awesome.
out. Yeah, they're like, come out and let's do like one final run. To see if you'll, make it on the show, and we did.
And you guys did well, and you did well.
We won. No spoilers. I won't spoil the fast money, but we won. I think we won 3. So we won 3 of the shows.
That's nice. That's
man.
That's exciting. And tell me about your relationship with your brothers, streamers as well. We got Bearded Blevins. What is it like that you guys have similar interests, and tell me about sort of your relationship with your brothers.
I freaking love them so much, dude. We've always been close. Like, I've recently gotten much closer with John because we're doing Family Fortnite Friday now for like the last almost 2 years. That's what it feels like. So where we play every Friday, and we just play duos, and it's an absolute blast. But like I ended up moving in with Chris, my middle brother. Like, we moved in, we got our own apartment shortly after I started pretty much before I started dating Jess, actually. My parents moved to Arizona, and we didn't want to leave. So Chris just looked over and was like, yo, do you want to get an apartment here with me? And I was like, yeah. So I lived with my brother Chris for a long time. So, just a great relationship with both of them. Chris got into streaming for a little bit during his college little career. And he was doing, he was streaming like Pokemon like shiny hunting. I don't know if you know what shiny hunting is. Nope. But like, there's shiny Pokemon where they're like, in a nutshell, they're incredibly rare. Like getting a royal flush, dude. Like, whatever those odds are, it's crazy.
It's a lot hard.
Yeah, it's like 1 in 6,000 is like what the normal odds were to find a shiny Pokemon. So like, he would just stream and try to catch shiny Pokemon, and he actually ended up getting a couple hundred viewers and building his own community for a little bit. But then he obviously retired from that. He's a full-time teacher now at a high school. I don't want to name it. I don't want to dox it yet, but he loves it, dude. He's winning like teacher of the year at the high school, like constantly. All the students love him. They're constantly asking him to, give the graduation speech. I think he's been nominated 4 times to give the graduation speech, which is like,
that's awesome.
I mean,
that's cool, man. So you're close. Your family, you're tight. You guys, it's not just Family Feud going for dollars there. You guys are bonding outside of competition. That's awesome. And what would you say is your big sort of what have you learned about yourself the most with streaming and just sort of looking when you started from with a couple viewers on this crazy journey, like looking today, what is it that you're most proud of on the whole thing?
I think
or I like surprised you, like that you learned about yourself, that you started like the
I got that dog in me, dude. I mean, to be doing this like at this high of a level, and for doing it as long as I have, and like I always believed I would be like the biggest streamer in the world, truly. Like growing up, and when I was streaming, I was always like looking at other streamers, and I always thought like I had more energy, I was funnier, I was better at the games than like some of the streamers who were bigger than me were. And I was like, dude, like one day I'll just get my break. Like if I put the time in, hashtag time in, which is another freaking, thing I have. Anyways, I was like, I put the time in, dude, it'll happen. And it did, man. Like, Fortnite came up and, we blew up. Still the most followed streamer on Twitch, 23 million subs on YouTube.
It's crazy, right? It is crazy when you really think about though how you're in the Midwest. Some guy you're talking about this, you randomly like you got into this.
Man.
It's wild. Like that's a wild ride to be because this is what I'm saying about support. When like I remember video games, and I remember this commercial. I'm curious if you ever saw this. It was a Sprite commercial, and it was like this. It was just like under the cap, right? And they're playing video games. And the guy, it's like a little cartoon character, the Sprite guy, and he's like, what'd you, like they're celebrating and going crazy. And the guy's like, what'd you win? Like you're playing a video game. What'd you get out of that? And he wins like a twist under the cap, got like a free, jersey or something. So like, that's for me about poker. That was like, I always love board games, video games, but for poker, I was like, okay, I actually see that I can make money and do this and whatever. Like for you, because you're in the generation you had to be, right? Whereas people are like, what, you can't play, you're growing up, you're 6 or 8, like playing video games, 10 years old, your parents are saying stop. So like, this is kind of a crazy, you get to look at your teachers now, all the doubters, all the people, and kind of say like, it's kind of funny because this wasn't here 30 years ago. This wasn't actually a thing, right? It is new.
Hell yeah, bro. Shout out to all the freaking, high school twats who made fun of me for being a field fairy because I played soccer.
This type of stuff. I mean, I'm saying it is crazy though. Okay, so it's got to feel rewarding, and at the same time, it does seem like you're pretty focused on outward focus, charity, doing stuff, and doing what's good for the community, and looking at mental health, trying to do your best, and put out information. Can you tell me about your podcast? You do how often you do that, and where can people watch that?
Thank you, bro. And thank you for plugging it, dude. It's AFK with Ninja. It's an audio only podcast. We re-upload on YouTube, but obviously you can download it where you get any of your podcast fix, like Spotify, Apple, iTunes, all that stuff. And yeah, dude, it's just we record like a solo and then a guest episode. Like we upload every Tuesday and Thursday. It's lit. It's lit.
That's awesome. And Michigan, tell me. I know we got a hard stop here. We tight day today. I got the kids banging on me too here. They know this time of day. It's their time. But what is it about Michigan? Because you were born there, but you moved like you're Lions. Because I'm a Lions fan. I'm a Michigan. I grew up in Ann Arbor, Michigan, so I'm a big Michigan fan. What is the Lions specifically sports wise? How do you why not the Bears? Why not somewhere else? Why the Lions?
Yeah, dude. I'll try to keep this quick as well. So like it was one of those things where like when I got into it and who I was there with, right? So when I got into football and I really started watching, it was when I went to college with my brother John for 1 year. It was my freshman year of college. It was his like 4th year. And we were in Manitowoc, Wisconsin is where we were going to college, some small town. And dude, he was like, dude, you got to come to the bar with me, bro. Come to Chewy's bar. Rest in peace, Chewy. He was the only Lions bar in all of pretty much in all of Green Bay.
Okay.
Or Wisconsin. And we just started watching games there. And my dad was obviously a Lions fan long enough for my brother John, my oldest brother John, to like also develop a Lions fandom. So when my dad stopped being a Lions fan and switched to the Bears, my brother John stayed a Lions fan. And he always loved Detroit. I don't even know where that love came from. Other than that, because we were born there and John was raised, but he was like 6 years old when we moved. So right. But dude, I think he just, whenever he visited, and he just always loved it. He loved the city, he loved the food, he loved the people, and he loved the Lions. So
that makes a lot of sense. That was a tough, great season, tough end. They were like 91 or 2%. Dude. I mean, that was crazy. They'll be back.
Won that game.
Yeah, that was pretty insane. And my last question is Ninja. I get this, I'm sure you get a lot. I saw it. We did a giveaway before about people asking questions. That came up a lot. Where did you get Ninja from?
I was playing Halo 2, and I was on a game battles team with this guy called Tuna. His name was Tuna, and whenever he would jump over somebody's head and backsmack them, he called it the Tuna Flop. And so like, and when you're playing in a first-person video game, obviously your sight is much more narrow. So like when you would turn the corner, like a sharp corner, and then you're one shot, somebody's like overzealous. They think they got you, so they're chasing you super close to the corner, and then you would jump as they lose sight, and you would just like get behind them and backsmack them. So everyone else called it like getting ninja'd. Like you'd be like, oh my god, you ninja'd someone. So it wasn't named after me or anything. But I was playing forgot. Sorry, language. If that's not
it's good. We're
okay
good. We're having.
What the
It's
heck
all
was it
good.
called? Something. It was Halo 3. I can't believe I can't remember. Construct. I was playing Construct MLG. Went up open lift. Some dude had me one shot. I ran around the corner, ninja'd him, and I screamed into the mic. I was like, "Get fucking ninja'd!" And then I was like, "Dude, I got to make that my gamer tag." I was like, "How do I get the F word in my name?" As like a 16-year-old kid, on Xbox, and I ended up making it my gamer tag EFFINN space ninja effing ninja. And then the guy Eli the Ninja, who was like, you're not going to take. He was a professional. I wasn't at the time, so I couldn't take his name, right? So when I went to LAN and I was like, I would sign up for my name, I would sign up under F and Ninja. But eventually he retired, and then when he retired and I was a professional, that was when I was like, dude, I'm gonna take the OG Ninja, right?
Makes sense.
Yeah, because he wasn't.
That's awesome.
We are, bro.
That's and it went there. And I think Andre is going to be probably kicking us off here. I know you got a hard stop, but I got to ask about your team. What goes into, I've lived with Phelps. I see the team that you got the publicist and this and agent and you have manager and all these things. What is in the Ninja? What makes the Ninja team tick? How many people? Give me maybe a couple shout outs on what actually goes into place to kind of get the whole production thing going.
Dude, it's honestly, Andre is our newest addition, but he's been working with us through one of the companies that just found us for our social media team. And we ended up just picking, I think, dude, so Guy Fieri had like a really good saying on this. He's like, when you find someone, when you hire agencies, and then in the agencies, there's usually one just golden child that stands out that is just like super good to work with. Take them, pull them to your team, and just hire them outright.
It's hard to find good people because especially when you're building your brand, your thing, it's great to have people. You got people that buy in, believe in your thing.
So just found us. Just found us Arish. Shout out to our lawyer Arish, who's now going to be named one of the people at like one of the what are they called? And a lawyer when you're at a firm, he's getting his name on the board. So he's got a huge promotion. We love him. He's always taken care of us, looked out for us, and like actually we've become really close with him and his wife. And so, him, Arish, Andre, the CAA team. I mean, dude, it's just picking people that you can trust. And yeah, man.
I love it. Well, listen, because first of all, I will say, last of all, I should say, I appreciate the punctuality from you because, and again, in poker, that doesn't usually happen. You're like early, Andre's on point. You're here ready to start right on time. And I know you have something to pop to right now. So I want to respect your time. I appreciate it so much. I hope we can run it back. I hope we run back the poker again. Guys can watch on Poker Go or Ninja's stream. You can see the 5-hour stream on Poker Go, the Nutcase launch. It was pretty epic. And I got so excited with the 200th episode. I forgot to say at the beginning, shout out to Karate Combat, who is the sponsor. It's on point with the Ninja name, man. Karate Combat, the hottest league in combat sports and the first league governed by a token. So with that being said, Ninja, the 200 guest, Tyler, appreciate you, man. I'll see you soon. So thank you so much for the time.
Hell yeah, man. Sounds good.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers, man. All right. I do have a call, man.